Hey, what's up? This is Jedi Steve, and I want to talk about word of mouth marketing. I want to talk about word of mouth marketing and how awesome it can be. But I'm not talking. I'm talking about word of mouth marketing like a Jedi. This is what I did, and this one's going to be hard to believe because I was around for all this, and it's hard for me to believe. But this is what you do. This is what I did. When I first had my first website and it was going viral, all of a sudden a lot of my friends tried to attack me. They went to my brother. I'm not going to tell you which brother it is, but they went to my brother and they were asking my brother, "Nobody knows what Steve does. Nobody knows what Steve does. Da 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 da." I'm like, who cares? Both of them had been a client when I did other stuff and financial services, and everybody used to always say, "Nobody knows what Steve does. Nobody knows what Steve does. Steve does a lot of fucking things." So I met with 3 of the people that my brother had gotten to my brother and said some stuff. I met with them. One hung up on me. Right when I said, "Oh yeah, you wanted to know what I did. This is what I do." He hung up on me. So he didn't want to know. Another one of them, I told him, because I had gotten it down there, I said, "This is what I do. I get people's attention by them not knowing what I do." And from there, they ask them what I do. So when I was in financial services, when somebody said they didn't know what I do, I was like saying, "Oh, we should schedule an appointment and I'll sit down with you and your wife or whatever so we can work on a financial plan." Then they knew what I did, but they probably said, "Oh, nobody knows what Steve does," but they were a client of mine because it was interesting. So when my first site was going viral, I went around and I learned these people don't want to know. So what I did is I was like, I'm going to create, with my formula, I have chaos, order, and organized chaos, and I'm just going to create a whole bunch of chaos because a lot of my stuff is more high vibrating than the average person. So in order to get like even a little views, I have to grow chaos, chaos, chaos. And then all of a sudden they see my videos that are positive with a little chaos with a nice rhythm in there, and you would have a group of people that most people were seeing the negative ones. So at a restaurant, if you go to a restaurant and you see it have a positive review for a restaurant, you usually tell like 3 people. If it's a negative review, and this is before Yelp, but if it's a negative review, you would tell 23 people. So what I was able to do is create a lot of a negative content that sucked people in for the good content, and I would win them one person at a time over. I'd win them over one at a time without any of my effort. Because no thanks. So I'd run it. He asked me if I want to buy a bike. So I'd run into these random people without going out of my way. I'd run into random people, and they'd say, "Oh, what are you up to?" And a lot of times I say nothing. And it's like they see my shit on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, I thought you were doing this. I thought you were doing this. I thought you were doing this." And these are people that I'm randomly running into, and I live unscheduled, so I am literally randomly running into these people. So I would randomly run into these people. And then all of a sudden they're defending me because they see because in the beginning they were telling 23 people the negative stories about me, and then all of a sudden they turned into the 3, and then I had the rhythm between disapproval and approval. I shade towards getting disapproval, not because I want people to hate me. I don't mind people hating me, but I don't want people to hate me. But disapproval gives you a lot of freedom to do whatever the fuck you want. Approval, sometimes when you look for too much approval, you get sucked in there. But for certain projects, I need a certain amount of approval, so I have the balance. I only need one person to like me at a time, and I have an organization of 25 people. And only to do great things, I only have to have one person that's some sort of leader that likes me. It's sad. that laugh probably spoke volumes. You're probably getting what I just did more than I did. So you have that battle, then it's a rhythm, and then all of a sudden I'm not using any effort, and these people are still scheduled and going to different meetings, and they're spreading the positivity, the negative, which is getting more attention. And then, as this girl told me one time, she's like, "I was telling my friends the other day you're smart." Tapped into it, was like, "Well, why is she all of a sudden randomly telling her friends, with a bunch of female friends, that I was smart?" And I was like, "Oh, because they see my idiotic, grammar messed up statements, and then they are saying negative shit, and then she's defending it because it sucked her in. So the negative's going like this, and so on, and so on, and so on." Yes, that's what I'm all about. Peace.